Welcome back to Janezone. We started out with a very nice hot drink to surprise mothers on for Mother's Day, but I am going to continue on now with that surprise and show you a great recipe that I've always liked to make, cheese grits. Cheese grits is a wonderful hot casserole that you can serve to a small group of people. You're probably wondering what grits are at this point. Grits are merely cracked dried corn. It's ground corn, very much like a coarse cornmeal. You can't eat it raw. You have to boil it and flavor it in order for it to be delicious. I'm going to make a plain cheese grits that could be varied in so many different ways, which I can tell you at the end. But let's get started just making a plain southern recipe cheese grits. The first thing you need to do is boil 4 cups of water in a saucepan. Measure out 4 cups of water in a saucepan and get it to a vigorous boil. Once it's a vigorous boil, you'll add the grits. You'll find these in the cereal aisle at your grocery store at the end with the oatmeal and the oat bran. The grits are right there in a container. They're usually, I like 5-minute boiling grits. Add those a cup to your saucepan, and that's where I'm at right now. I've boiled my grits. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees. You will be baking this recipe. My grits are nice and fluffy and soft like a rice. Fluffy and soft like a rice or like a cream of wheat. Just plain white grits, boiled for 5 minutes on a low simmer. First you boil the water, add the cup of grits, and then turn your stovetop down to low for 5 minutes. Cover it up with a lid, and that's how they get fluffy. Let's go ahead and start adding the ingredients now. First thing, a half a stick of butter, right in there. Stir it in till it melts. Half a stick of butter in the grits. The next thing is 2 lightly beaten eggs. Just crack the eggs in a separate bowl. 1, 2. Stir those in. You want to beat the eggs ahead so that you don't have any hard scrambled eggs in your cheese grits. Mix that in. Stir it quick. Alright, and now 1 teaspoon of pepper. I like to use coarse ground. I grind my own pepper, but if you don't have that, 1 nice teaspoon of pepper will do the trick. There's the phone. Going to ignore it right now. Let's go with the garlic powder next. It says a teaspoon, or a half teaspoon of garlic powder. I just gauge it. The first time you make a recipe, use teaspoons and tablespoons just to make sure you're exact. Then once you've done it a few times, you can just guess. Now we have a tablespoon of sherry. Cooking sherry is in the aisle with the vinegar at your supermarket. So any nice cooking sherry, stir that in. Alright, And now we're going for the tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. 1 tablespoon Worcestershire sauce. That's a little harder for me to eyeball, so I'm going to use my tablespoon. It just gives it that smoky, nice flavor. Stir that in. Changes color a little bit with the Worcestershire. From that creamy white grits color to a light pale. So here we are now. We only have one more thing to add, and that's the cheese. 1/2 package or 4 ounces of shredded cheese. Now you can add your own favorite cheese. Again, you can vary it, but maybe make it just like the recipe the first time, and that way you'll know what you want to change. My recipes are always in the description box at the bottom of my videos. You can click the mouse on show more and the recipe will then spread down the page so you can see exactly what goes in. Stir in your cheese good. I think that's it. I always double check to make sure, but yeah, all right. There are 10 ingredients. One of those 10 ingredients is water. The others are ingredients you probably have on hand, but you may have to go down the aisle and find your cheese, your grits again. So, this is ready to go in a casserole dish. I always like to oil with butter or spray my casserole pan just to keep the cleanup nice. Now I'm going to take and just pour this in. God, the smell of it is incredible. It's very, very tasty and nutritional, hearty. This will serve about 6 people. A nice bowl. They'll get up in the morning and what's for breakfast? Cheese grits. Cover and bake for 1 hour at 350 degrees. Now, the things you can do instead of cheese grits, you can look up, there's multiple recipes, but just a quick one is if you make plain white grits, you can put fruit on it. Blueberries or strawberries, syrup. You can also add, if you want to get a south of the border kick, you can add jalapenos, salsa, and onions, green peppers, to give it more of a festive flavor. But this is your basic cheese grits recipe. Bake for 1 hour and enjoy. Now, one more thing for Mother's Day. It's always nice to give her flowers, but I am going to show you in the next video how to make this hand towel that attaches to your stove handle. So come back and see me and learn how to make this quick, easy gift. Have a nice day.